Welcome back. In the first video, I talked about the need to retool Illinois for a high-skill, high-wage economy. For Illinois to become the thriving, prosperous state we know we can be, we need to think beyond the current crisis and develop a forward-looking agenda. We need long-term solutions that lift us all up, not quick fixes and slash-and-burn tactics. Governor Rauner is taking the opposite approach. He's trying to win the race to the bottom. That's because he fundamentally misunderstands our state's challenges and the role government needs to play in addressing them. Governor Rauner recently said he believes Illinois has a collectivist economy. That could not be farther from the truth. But don't take my word for it. Just ask Nobel Prize-winning economist Roger Myerson.
Illinois is home to a competitive free market economy where the prices of goods and services are determined by fundamental laws of supply and demand, depending on the individual decisions of thousands of entrepreneurs and millions of consumers throughout the state. This is not a collectivist economy.
Thanks, Nobel Prize-winning economist Roger Myerson. That was helpful.
You're welcome.
Here's what Governor Rauner is confused about. He thinks that having a free market economy means that government shouldn't do anything at all, and that when the government does interact with the economy, that's collectivism. But if you misunderstand the problem, there's no way you're going to be able to propose solutions that work. And Rauner's just wrong. Pretty much all economists agree that if we want the economy to grow as fast as possible and work well for everyone, then government has to play a role. Right?
Right. Every successful economy in the world depends on government to provide basic laws and regulations and transport infrastructure that are essential for people to live together and move about freely and safely. No society has ever achieved modern economic growth without some government support for education and a social safety net that helps its citizens adapt to modern technical change.
Thanks, Dr. Myerson. Now that we've cleared that up, the question is, how do we enact public policies that build on the strengths of our free market economy and create opportunity for all citizens of Illinois? In this video, I'll focus on the first half of that, creating the tools necessary for a thriving, high-skill, high-wage economy. That requires three things: human capital, physical infrastructure, and smart regulations. Human capital just means that in a knowledge-based economy, an educated workforce is more important than anything in driving economic growth. We've already talked about the vicious inequities in K-12 education funding. Fixing that would be a great start. But the higher education problems are awful too. College is way too expensive, and Illinois has been defunding grants to low-income students. That's cruel and it's self-destructive. We have to get back to funding our public institutions of higher education properly so tuition can be affordable. We need to fund grants to low-income students, and we can afford to make community college free, which would be transformative for Illinois families. But human capital doesn't only mean education. It also means creating the conditions so that educated people enter, stay, and thrive in our workforce. For example, we've been defunding childcare. That means that many single parents can literally no longer afford to work. That's cruel, but it's also economically insane. We need to do the opposite and expand childcare. It's humane, and it'll allow many thousands of people to go back to work and contribute to our economy. Here's another example. Today, in 2016, women still only earn 79 cents for every dollar a man makes. African American women earn 64 cents, Latino women earn 48 cents. Not only is that immoral and unfair, it also sends a signal to women, and especially women of color, that their work isn't valued. And that pushes more women out of the workplace. Well, guess who suffers from that? Certainly the women who are being discriminated against, but also all of society, which loses their economic output. Next, physical infrastructure. A strong transportation network, whether it's roads, bridges, railways, or airports, does something crucial in an economy. It moves goods from place to place and allows commerce to happen. And it does something even more important than that. It moves people from place to place. In recent decades, economic patterns in Illinois have changed. For instance, manufacturing jobs have moved from Chicago out to the suburbs, and that leaves city residents with fewer economic opportunities. By investing properly in transportation infrastructure, what we do is we connect people from across Illinois to the available jobs. Finally, smart regulations. The rules we make can be the difference between a sluggish, shrinking old economy and a fast-paced, growing new one. Here's a couple examples of how. For one thing, when someone's released from prison, the best thing for that person, as well as for society and our economy, is for them to get a job, earn a living, and pay taxes. But there's still lots of regulations on the books that make it hard for ex-offenders to find employment. We need to fix that. Here's another one. We have a Byzantine web of professional regulations. Now, that doesn't only apply to professions that are truly dangerous if poorly executed, like brain surgery. It also applies to, for instance, interior design. If we simplified the system, people could change careers and find work much more quickly. Here's another one, efficiency of permitting. In Chicago, if you want to start a professional services business, it takes 32 days of red tape. The second slowest major city, that's New York, it takes 8 days. These regulatory issues, they may all seem small, but they add up to a situation where if you're new in town, you don't speak English fluently, if you're not already employed, or you've been incarcerated, well, we're basically telling you, thanks, but no thanks. Don't start a business. Don't join the workforce. That means more unemployed people, less economic activity, and a much less entrepreneurial culture. Okay, that's enough for now. In the next and final installment, we'll talk more about how to create opportunity for all and high wages across the economic spectrum. In the meantime, you can get more information at roadbackillinois.com. Thanks for watching.